And happy Sabbath. Again, welcome to the Bible Christians of God, Brother Jacob. And today, during Black History Month, we're continuing with our Black History Month series. And just thank God for those of you that are seeking the truth, those of you that are the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, spiritually and physically. So this, a continuation from part one, from color. We dealt with color in part one of this series called Israel, the Black History Series. And just to kind of reiterate what we have here, this is from part one, and as we go into today's portion, which is the prophecies of the blessings and the curses that God put upon Israel. Because when God spoke these things in his book, from Genesis to Revelation, he was talking to none other than Israel. We can go on places, and we will subsequently in this series, because we're going to go a while, y'all. We're going to deal chronologically about Israel. We're going to deal from before 70 AD, and we're going to deal after 70 AD, which is a significant event, a significant event occurred during that time. But today, we focus on the conditions of Israel. And what I want to do is, for anyone that's new, I want to read these two verses. I got to start out new. I want to make sure, because, see, this is critical to understanding the Bible. Let's go to St. John 3 and 3. And I want to go straight to verse 11. I always want to open up and do this series with this part, because you never know, someone new, they may have skipped part one, and they haven't even seen the color part yet. So that's why I'm going to reiterate what I started out with part one, because each one of these segments build upon understanding who Israel is. Today, who was Israel, and who done took Israel's identity. And we're going to chronologically walk this thing down. So it's going to be a while in this series. We're going to go beyond Black History, way beyond Black History Month, y'all. We're just starting out as using Black History Month as a marker for this series. So St. John 3 and 11 says, "Verily, verily," which biblically means truly, truly, "I say unto thee, we speak that we do know, and we testify that we have seen, and you see not our witness. If I have told you earthly things and you believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you of heavenly things? Now around me I have a chart that testifies on earthly things that has happened to God's people, according to the Bible, the conditions that are upon the children of Israel." And these charts, I got a picture up here on the wall, the color, that's who he was talking to when we go into some of these conditions, because they are very prevalent for today. It is an earthly matter. So you don't understand why these things are happening to people of color, then your understanding of spiritual things is going to be way off. You're going to be jacked up. Your understanding, you're going to have big, giant, 747 wide holes in your doctrine. Okay? So now, I just want to start out with that, because that's what Jesus said. And anybody that's teaching about Jesus and really understands Jesus, understand you got to understand earthly things. So what I want to do is put this dead in the smack of the personal colors living room, right in your life. I want to start out with something that is prevalent today, that is most prevalent in the Black community, and that is the criminal justice system, the prison house system. Believe you me, there's nobody black within the sound of my voice that does not fall under one of these categories. Either you know somebody in jail right now, or you know somebody that just got put in jail, on their way to jail in the criminal justice system now, awaiting sentence, or you know somebody that just got out of jail. You know somebody like that. And there's a reason why we as people of color know someone that is in that predicament or on their way to jail, or somebody that's getting ready to come out of jail. You thought, hey, I don't even have to know your name. I just read this book, and it's going to identify that you are this people that the book is talking about as far as the children of Israel. And we got statistical data that's going to back up this book. See, this is one of those lessons that, hey, the white man wrote this book. Well, we already slayed that. But wait a minute. The realism of this book, how it is living in your house today, or in your neighbor's house, or in the black community every day. This is one of the reasons why the Bible said many pastors have destroyed my vineyard, because they haven't gone into the Bible and showed you, guess what? This word is in our face, y'all. We are these people that this book is talking about. I never forget, I was at a Bible study lesson, and this lady said, and they were going through some of the things in the Old Testament, you know, that kind of sound like us. I was like, you know how they say, the more things change, the more they stay the same? Well, our people haven't changed from 445 BC, 346 BC, 600 BC, 700 BC. We have not changed. Our location and our condition as to where we've been living at is the only thing that's been shifted. Other than the cultural aspect, the mentality of our people has remained the same since the wilderness. Even before then. But we're going to get into the conditions that the Lord told our forefathers while they were in the wilderness. He told these color folks that's on these pictures certain things that apply to that will apply to their descendants. And we're going to see, are we those people? Because you got people around talking about, man, I ain't no Hebrew Israelite. I ain't. Okay. But I bet you know somebody either in jail or get ready to come out of jail, or you either been in jail between you and I. Between you and I. One of us been in jail before, y'all. Okay? So here's what we're going to start with. Let's go and deal with this prison house thing by going to Isaiah 42 and 20. We have ministers playing around with the word of God, but it is very serious, and the ramifications for messing around with this is very deadly. It's very destructive. Personally, it's destructive to our social fabric. It is destructive to our community. And this word is nothing to be played with, but they're playing with it all day tomorrow, y'all. It's like messing around with a loaded gun, setting off nukes, destroying the mind when you don't understand the word of God. But look what the Lord said about this people, y'all. We're going to start at Isaiah 42 and 18. Now remember, he was talking to people of color. People of color. That's what he was talking to. Those people right there. When he said this, he said, hear you deaf and look you blind that you may see. Now, why would the Lord tell somebody that's deaf to hear and somebody that's blind to see? Because we see a lot of things and we hear a lot of things, but we're not paying attention that it's coming from the word of God. Right. Our people are blind that, hey, whoa, what do you mean to tell me? Yes, that's when your eyeballs are open. You no longer fall under the category of the deaf and the blind. You look in this book, you be like, dude, look, verse 19. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Now, we're going to deal with the fact that our people, we are, let me put it in layman's terms, current day meaning, we are the institution for the knowledge of God. We are that place where they say, you want to go get certified? You want to get your master's degree? We are the place, the only place. We represent that institution that represents and sends out the messengers of God. Everybody else, I used to have a problem with thinking like that till I actually put some time in this book, and I come to find out, if you ain't talking about them people that color, them people you put up on the walls, you ain't going to get it. You simply not going to get it right. Let me put it like, you're not going to get it right. Now watch this. He said, who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant, seeing many things, but thou observest not, opening the ears, but he hears not. Because we're not observing this book, and we're not hearing the words from this book. But watch, when we hear this next thing, pay attention. It said, the Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. But if you go into our churches all day tomorrow, or the popular religious institution that we flock into by the millions and millions all day on Sunday, they diminish the law. But watch what the Lord said. After he said that, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. Robbed and spoiled. This people, notice, they are all of them snared in holes. And they are hid in prison houses, y'all. Let me read the statistics up here, y'all. I got it right here. This comes out of familyfacts.org. It tells you they want to call us African Americans. Males are more likely than others to be incarcerated. It says the incarceration rate, the number of persons per 100,000 residents, is more than 6 times higher for black males than white males. Think about that. They just did a study in Ferguson or across the police departments in this nation and found that there is biasness. There's an article, somebody said the video in our Facebook room, our BCOGX room, that when you had a policeman said to a pedestrian, "You're white, we're not going to kill you, we only kill black people." I was like, really? I almost want that to be played. Somebody can pull that up right quick. You can pull that up for it to be played. Because I want them to hear this. But look, we're going to get that. We're going to see if we can get that sound bite for y'all to hear that. But it's significant. But it says, but this people is robbed and spoiled. They're all of them snaring the holes. And believe y'all me, we in one hole or another. We either in financial hole, we in the character hole, we in the education holes, we in the look, our neighborhoods look like holes. Okay, it's all true. Until we mingle with other people, go somewhere where it's heavily black, y'all. Go there. You see holes in the wall. Anyway, move right along. Look, it says they are for a prey and none deliver, for spoil and none says restore. Who among you will get into this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Now I'm gonna pull this piece up right quick. This is current. We're talking right now. We ain't talking about nothing 500 years ago. We ain't talking about nothing 1,000 years ago. We talking about right now, in your face, in your house. Look at this, y'all. I got this right here. This piece right here talks about all of a sudden there's an incredible increase of the incarceration rate in America. From 1920 to the year 2014. And this red represents the increase. So what are we reading? What are we seeing here when we go and look at the numbers, y'all? We are seeing the fulfillment of this prophecy. Now I'm going to go turn this piece over right quick and point this out. Let everybody see that. I want everybody to see that. Okay? As you can see, the disparities, the differences between black and white in the penal institution. We are 13% of the U.S. population. Let me turn this around so I can read it. They even had a march some years ago. It says, from the back of the bus to the front of the prison. This ain't something that happened 1,000 years ago, y'all. 100 years ago. This is recent. Okay? They had a march from the back of the bus to the front of the bus. The struggle continues. Yes, sir. Now, let me point this out. The incarceration rate of whites and non-whites. We are 13% of the U.S. population, but whites represent 36% of the population, but we represent 64% of the prison population, if not higher. So how is that we a minority in the streets or in the census report, well, we the majority in prison? But do they talk about this on Sunday? Yo, do you think they talk about this? They're talking about this on Sunday? I never heard of this stuff until I actually stopped being blind to the Word of God and start hearing the Word of God. And when somebody read this to me, Wow, it slammed. The doors in my mind, like, whoa, open the doors, rather, in my mind. They are simply not reading God's word. They're not paying attention. So now, let me keep going here. Who is this that this is talking about? Filling up the jailhouses. Those are black folks walking, talking about from the back of the bus to the front of the prison. Who are they? They are called African Americans, colors, porch monkeys. We're going to get to that. Who is that holding that sign? Let's let the Bible tell us this. The next verse, verse 24. Because 23 says, who will hearken to hear for the time to come. So we're living in that time. That line didn't go higher in red for nothing, y'all. The book is real. Straight up. Don't let nobody trick you into thinking it's not. Go look at them jailhouses, y'all. Look what he said. Who did this stuff? You think the white man? It's the white man that put us in it. That's what I'm going to address also. You, the white man, is taking advantage of it. We want to blame everybody else about our condition. But what the Bible says about why we like this. Check it out. Who gave Jacob for a spoil in Israel to the robbers? So that's who that is carrying that sign. That's Israel. Oh, that's who that is that's sitting up in the criminal justice system. I had to go and help a brother out and stand as a character witness for a brother in D.C. in the court system. That's what pastors and teachers do. We go, our parishioner needs some help. We stand there as a character witness to, hey, the brother is so-and-so, so-and-so. And when I went in there, I was like a hissing in the wagon and shaking my head. You would think that black folks are we're criminals. It was flocking full of us. I was like, dang. And then when I stood there, you see, for the brother, guess who was all lined up there in front of the judge, y'all? But guess who what color the attorneys were? I think I saw one black attorney in there. But everybody else was not our color. But we the ones that filling up standing in front of the judge saying, Your Honor, no, Your Honor, yes, Your Honor. We're the ones. Oh, that's Israel? Why are we like this? It says, did not the Lord did this, y'all. Why? He against whom we had sinned. This is why we in this condition, y'all. I just want to hit it off the top. Pow! So if somebody want to just turn away, hey, you turn away from solid knowledge, solid information, solid, undeniable facts that are prevalent today. And I'm talking about 2018, today, right now. That's why he said, did not the Lord, he against whom we had sinned. Now here's the key, y'all. Against, he said, for they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Didn't we read up high that the Lord came to make the law honorable? So the reason why we're filling up the prison houses is because of breaking God's law? Oh, that means the law is still good to this day. When they tell you all day tomorrow, man, we even got a false prophet talking about the devil want to make you keep the law. Interesting. Look, he said the reason all this stuff happened to us is because we would not walk in his ways. Neither were they obedient unto his laws, y'all. And we just warming up. We are just warming up, y'all. I just wanted to bring that out. So now, let's go. Let me turn this back around because we got some more statistics. It ain't just the only area we suffering in, y'all. Go look at them HIV cases. Look at that unemployment rates. Look at our children. We're going to look at gun death rates in the black community. We're going to look at poverty rates. We're going to look at the new HIV diagnosis. Okay? Like I said, whites represent 65% of the U.S. population, but it said blacks are 13.5%, Asians are 5%, and everybody else falls under 2%. So I just want to make sure I had that solid. So let's pursue this. Let's go to Romans 10th chapter. Romans 10 and 1. Because the Lord said the reason we hid away in prison houses and jails, because we would not walk in his ways, nor obedient to his law. That's why that's happening, y'all. And yet we are for a prey, and we are snared in holes. Some of us got unemployment holes. Some of us got, hey, we can't get our mind right holes. We got psychological holes, all kind of holes up in our neighborhood, y'all. Amen. We full of them, y'all. That's why we don't like being around each other. We want, what kind of issues you bringing, man? What kind of holes you want me to fall into? I want to fall into that. I got my own holes to fall in. Okay? But look, this is why Paul said this. Romans 10:1. Romans 10:1. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. Amen. And when you look in our neighborhood, y'all, hey, we have to pray for the brothers and sisters. I mean, I'll be like, man, dude, your loved one that's in jail, your loved one that might have HIV, your brother and sister that's out on the streets, homeless, you know, the crap lady got AIDS, you know, sister got AIDS, don't know how she got it, divorced, you know, woman walking around, got 12 kids, ain't got no job, you know, we done seen sisters out there bad. With babies, where the man at? All of this. That's why when you understand Israel, this magnitude of this verse right here almost bring you to tears. Almost. That's almost. Because look, for he said, I bear them record that they have a zeal of God. And we do. Go in our neighborhoods. We got more churches, and there's liquor stores nearby one way or the other, than anybody else. We holler, scream, shout. We do most singing this, most praying as people that I can think of religious. They think, man, what's wrong? They let the jam. And we do. We get out. And we got so much zeal for God. Look, we can sell it, box it up, rent it out, look, divvy it out, and still get plenty left for ourselves. Believe you me, that's how people is. Because he said, but not according to knowledge. I just read him to a little simple thing that your minister, your Sunday minister, should be able to easily expound on about us being hid in prison house. But you think he gonna tell you about that? No, because he got a zeal for God, but not according to knowledge. Because he knows that our folks want to come in and holler and scream, sing long songs, dance and shout, run around, do the brown, shake it up and all around. And put the money in the plate. What money? Because we hardly, I mean, look, they be living on high and hole, but all the parishioners are living on, you know, on the buses. Right. You know, you got even got called his last name, Dollar. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Big time false prophet. Oh, he got people put $65 million for a little jet. He want ATM. He probably got ATMs in his churches. So he want to make sure he get that. But the knowledge to show you that you are the children of Israel, you are the reason why we in prison house, you are the reason for disobeying God's law, is why we got AIDS. We're going to look at some of this death rates for us, y'all, for the infant mortality rate, death by guns, the poverty rates amongst the children, unemployment rates by race. Oh, yeah, we're going to walk this book, y'all. It's all here. But our ministers don't have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. For look at what it says, verse 3. For they be ignorant of God's righteousness. That's why the Lord said He's gonna make the law honorable. But pick a Sunday church. Watch what happens to the law. Even some got the nerve to say the devil wants you to keep the law. That tell you what kind of how ignorant they are. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. That's the problem. That's why the Lord had it written. Look, they would not be walking His way, nor were they obedient unto His law. Therefore, that's why you got so many different churches. Everybody got their own clique. Everybody riding their own flavor. You know, we like the way he preached right here. Well, we don't like how he talk about it. So we go over those, Reverend so-and-so. He scratched my ear just right. But everybody ignorant. Everybody going their own knowledge, their own righteousness. But look, let's go to Hosea 6 and 7, y'all. Hosea, 6, part 4 and 6. And this guy was talking to people of color. The ages ain't falling out in the street all. You know what? It's rarely I see a homeless Asian person. I don't know. I have to look for one. Okay. Yes. Hosea, 4th chapter, verse 6. This condition thing is no joke. The numbers don't lie. I'm like, ooh, okay. I get it, Lord, because I'm no longer blind and no longer deaf to the word of God. Oh, you hear what your preachers say, but are they preaching this book? Are you deaf to this? Are you hearing what thus saith the Lord? That's what we need to be attentive to. Hear your preachers, but hey, wait a minute, I'm not hearing the word of God come out of, nor are we reading this book. Therefore, the Lord said this. Watch this. Hosea 4th chapter, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. It didn't say lack of prayer. Oh, we some prayer. Oh, prayer. Look, prayer warriors. It didn't say for a lack of praise. Oh, we praise the Lord. We will praise the Lord all day, all night, and still got plenty of zeal, y'all. I remember as a little boy, I used to go to church sun up to sundown. Ain't no nothing. I sure praise the Lord all day. We went all until the night, 11 o'clock Sunday night. Sometimes it was 12:30 and get up and go to school the next day. That's what I thought it was. You just praise the Lord. I didn't know you had to have knowledge. Anyway, but he said, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge. See, God deals with knowledge, y'all. The true and living God. The one that people want to give you according to their ignorance or according to their righteousness. He don't require that. But this is why we got all this stuff over there talking about. And we're going to get into slavery. We ain't even got to this yet, y'all. We ain't even talking about slavery yet. We're going to get there. Because that's a part of why we're in the condition that we're in. So, watch this. He said, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. So you cannot be a priest of God if you don't have the knowledge of God. And if you reject the knowledge of God, then what kind of priest is you? What kind of priest is this standing up in the churches all day tomorrow? Because I was dealt with simple stuff. Criminal justice, everybody know somebody even in jail, even a preacher got somebody he know in jail. Or just got out of jail. Or he going to see in jail. These big time and they know about that. But you think they're going to go in this book and show you this? Because they reject knowledge. The Lord said, you shall be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. That's why it's ate up like that. So when I look and I see people going through and I be like, especially us, I be like, okay, God, you ain't even kidding. You ain't nowhere kidding. That's why, look, it said the child poverty rates, look at this, y'all. It said would be higher without any Social Security benefits. This is among children and families that receive Social Security benefits by race and ethnicity. This is a snapshot of 2014. It says that for blacks, the poverty rate is 57.7% among the children. Amongst the children, y'all. That's with Social Security benefits. No, I'm sorry. That's without Social Security benefits. And then with Social Security benefits, it's a 40.3% for those that have Social Security benefits, y'all. So, but it said it would be higher without the Social Security benefits, y'all. Children infant mortality rates. This is death rates for infants per 100,000 by race and Hispanic origin. This is from 2013. From all the way over there, you can see we got the highest line. We above the non-Hispanic whites. We above the Hispanics. We above the Indians. Yeah, we above the Indians. They have 401. The Asian Pacific's at 370. The Hispanics is at 463. Our death rate is at 1,052 per 100,000, y'all. We're almost, I think we're twice the rate of anybody. Even for the Gentiles, we're twice their rate, y'all. That's why they say, I'm going to forget your children. Now, I'll make sure this is good and solid. I'm going to keep reading. He said, as they were increased, so they sinned against me. Who is he talking about? These lawless, knowledge-rejecting people that call themselves priests. God's people. He said, as they increased, so they sinned against me. That's why, look, those of us that get all affluent and, we done made it, we forget the ones that we left, we be leaving brothers and sisters behind. They gone, man. They go and marry off into a different race. Sisters ain't good enough for them. They got to go marry a Gentile or a Hispanic. But like he said, as they increase, so they sinned against me. Therefore, I would change their glory into shame. And there's a lot of shame in the black community, y'all. You be like, dude, really? All these years, in the land of the free and the home of the brave, we still the highest incarcerated rates. We still got to battle with poverty. Like, we're going to get there. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So look, let's go to, make sure I read down. Okay, let's go now to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Now we're going to get to the slave ships, y'all. I want to give you something that's present. You can put your finger on, that's tangible, that's undeniable, right off the top. That's what we dealt with. Now we're going to go to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, y'all. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Let me go take this out. We're going to get back to that for y'all. We're going to get back to that. Now we talk. Now we're going to get into slavery. Now we're going to get into slavery. Let me get one here. Okay, Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Now what I put up here now is slavery. The enslavement of God's people. Let me run this by so somebody want to take a good look at what we have here. This is the enslavement of God's people. The enslavement of God's, these are photographs taken from history of our people going through it, y'all. Okay? Of our people going through it. Now you got people saying, well, you had a lot of people enslaved. Not like us. Not like us, y'all. And what we reading about was told to the nation of Israel, a.k.a. the real Jews. I say real Jews. We're going to get to who the false Jews are later in this whole thing. Like I said, we're going to break it down. But Deuteronomy 28 and 68, that's what we're finna read. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Now, I want to bring up the fact that you have a lot of movies that were done about slavery, and the fact that the Lord said he shall bring to Egypt again with ships. Wait a minute, y'all. Egypt is right next door to Israel. They're like how Mexico sits to the United States or Canada. You do not need a ship to get to Mexico. You do not need a ship to get to literal Canada. I say that again. You do not need a ship to get to literal Mexico from the United States. Nor do you need a ship to get across to the Canadian or go across to Canada. Well, it's the same way with Egypt and Israel. They're right next door to each other. So you don't need no ship to go next door. You can just drive across the border. So why is the Lord saying by ships? Watch this, y'all. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So he ain't talking about going next door to the literal country of Egypt. He's talking about going to a spiritual Egypt in which we will be sold as bondmen or bondwomen, aka slaves, y'all. That's why we got this right in front of me. Look at this. On the back of the US dollar bill, I mentioned this to a brother yesterday. He said, well, you know, that's the Illuminati pyramid. I said, but before the Illuminati, you had Egypt. And that pyramid represents Egypt on the US dollar bill. If you got a dollar in your house, I hope you do. Israel. Some Israel, y'all, hey, y'all trying to get a dollar. Anyway, we'll deal with that. But the fact of the matter remains that we, on this side of the hemisphere, as a matter of fact, all around the world, we were enslaved. The African American Museum in D.C., Washington, D.C., child, please. It's all kind of scripts walking around when you stop being blind and stop being deaf to the word of God. You walk around, you say, whoa, oh, man, they're going to Joel, they're going to Deuteronomy. You see the slave ships right here. Go down, if you can get it. We was there, and we got snapshots. We're going to upload to the BCOG X room of being at this exhibit. And they had this right there, y'all. Deuteronomy 28 in full-blown color. But look, is this the only place where it talks about slavery? Let's go to we're gonna go to Ezekiel 19 chapter. Now I want to mention on our way to going there, there's a list of black slave movies. And they're talking about white slaves. They talk about black slaves. Now I want to mention this. You have Roots in 2016. You had Alex Haley's Roots, 1977. Then you have Roots the Gift, 1988. You had 12 Years a Slave, which won an Academy Award. Well, my boy, I can't think his name. He played in, he also played in Doctor Strange. That's my boy, though. Birth of a Nation, y'all. That just came out, but originally it came out in 1915. Movie called Zama, 2017. Another black slave movie called North Star, 2013. A Woman Called Moses. Interesting. A Woman Called Moses in a movie about black slaves. Interesting. What color is those folks up there, y'all? Black. What color are those folks? They're slaves? Black. Interesting. And A Woman Called Moses came out in 1978. You had a movie called Uncle Tom's Cabin, came in 1903. You had The Glory in 1929. You had The Unchained Memo, which was a documentary in 2003. You had Tula, the Revolt, 2013. You had Amistad, which came out in 1997. All of these about slavery. Straight up. Tamango came out in 1958. Nat Turner came out in 2003. Something Whispered came out in 2013. Even got a movie called Slaves, came out in 1969. Had another movie called Santa Fe Trail, 1940. Had another movie called The Retrieval, 2013. You had even another movie that came out called Prince Among Slaves, 2006. Everybody know about Huckleberry Finn, that came out in 1939. Even the movie Abraham Lincoln, 1930. Another movie called Goodbye Uncle Tom came out in 1939. I Am Slave, 2010. And then you had Dango, which came out in 2012, y'all. Those are movies about black slaves. They're not talking about white folks being slaves, y'all. But the Lord spoke this to people of color. So now let's, like I said, Ezekiel 19 and 4. Watch this, y'all. Ezekiel 19 chapter, verse 4. And we're going to understand why. We're going to get into the details why it had to be this way, y'all. Ezekiel 19 and verse 4. Watch this, because he said we went into Egypt by ships. And we sold as bondmen and bondwomen. And no man shall buy you. That's why every time you have flesh and blood rise up, think he going to liberate us, right, or he knows the best way for all black folks, the Lord take him out. Or the Lord drop shame on him, or discredit him. Do something to him where it's like, ooh, and we just scatter to the four winds. And we back to square one. Wonder when the delivery gonna come. We waiting on, and look, y'all, the Lord trying to get us to turn to his word.
Yes.
That's where the solution is. That's where the comfort is in understanding how God's plan lays out. And we're going to deal with that in this Israel series. We're going to go into some very vivid details as we're doing right here. Look what it said in verse 4. The nations also heard of him. He was taken in their pits, and they brought him in chains into the land of Egypt. How did me and your forefathers get here, black man? Come out of Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia boys, okay, West Virginia boys. The slave ships landed with who in there? Inside of what? Chain. And that's what we read. We see what we read, and what we read, we can see. Which means we no longer that blind, that see not, nor are we those that hear, the deaf. We can hear now. We can hear the word of God screaming at us. That's why on the back of that US dollar bill is the Egyptian pyramid, y'all. Because we came over here into the land of Egypt. For us, this represents Egypt. Let's get down to verse 8. Watch this, y'all. Then the nations set against him on every side from the provinces and spread their net over him. He was taken in their pit, and they put him inward in chains and brought him to the king of Babylon. Also, that's who's in. See, Babylon for the Gentiles represent confusion. But that's who's in charge, y'all. That's why they give you a white Jesus. That's why they run around telling you how you believe the white man wrote that book. Okay? Because Babylon represents the Gentile aspect of all this confusion out here. But for us, when you go into this book and understand captivity, this is Egypt. So the Gentiles run it. Let me finish this. And it says, and they brought him in whole, they brought him in holds. What kind of hold? The holds of ships. Okay? That his voice should no more be heard upon the mountains of Israel. Oh, that's why they got so many different names for you. We're going to get to that aspect. We're going to get there, y'all. So look, I'm going to go and show you where the final stand of the black man was. Let's go to Luke 21 and 20. Let's go to Luke 21 and 20. Our last stand, y'all. Our last stand. This is the last place that we call our capital. Everybody got a capital. The Japanese got a capital. The French and the Germans and the Italians, they got a capital. Mexicans got a capital. But what the black folks say, we got we don't got no capital, y'all. No, we got a capital, y'all. Right here, Luke 21 and 20. Luke 21 and 20. This is our last capital. They don't want you to think about this as your capital. Because the moment you find out that this is your capital, you're like, then who's that over there running the land? They don't look like us. Uh-oh. And I drink to that. Look. It says, and when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Now, this is in 70 AD. Let me pull up some information right quick about the demographics of 70 AD. At 70 AD, this come out of the World Christian Trends, AD 30 to AD 2200, by David B. Burnett and Todd M. Johnson. Okay? Listen to this. Jerusalem. Let's call it chronologically a world evangelization. Jerusalem, one generation after Christ, the world is 0.1% Christian, 85% of them being non-whites. In other words, 85% black folks, y'all. Jerusalem, that's what our capital. That's our last standing capital, y'all. Notice. And it said, and 3%, 15% whites, 3% evangelized for scriptures, translated in that time into 5 languages, y'all. It says, let me go back to the scripture, because I just want to identify the color of these people. But here's a condition that befell the children of Israel, the children of Jerusalem. It says, verse 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. See, in 70 AD, which is 40 years after Jesus' death and resurrection, was a time that the Lord executed his vengeance. How I know that? Let's go to Jeremiah, hold that spot, and let's go to Jeremiah 42 and 18. Jeremiah 40, hold that, Luke, and go to Jeremiah 42, 18. Jeremiah 42 and 18. Watch this. For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, as my anger and my fury have been poured forth upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem, so shall my fury be poured forth upon you when you shall enter into Egypt. So wait a minute, we ain't talking about going next door to Egypt, y'all. Because the Lord said we're going to Egypt by ships. What Egypt is he talking about? His fury going to pour on over here, y'all. Watch this. And you shall be an excruciation and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach, and ye shall see this place no more, y'all. Try going over there that land right now. Talking about you, Israel. Child, please. How they gonna be looking like? Excuse me, sir. Where's your passport? Really? Dude, you what? Get out of here. If they don't shoot you. But look what he said. And the Lord said concerning you, O you remnant of Judah, go ye not into Egypt. Know certainly that I have admonished you this day. Now watch this, y'all. Because we went and fled. Actually, we tried to go and flee amongst people that look like us.
Right.
Okay, we're going to get into that as we go into chronological history. But here, for you disassemble in your hearts. See, we turn around and say, oh, that's when we lost our identity, y'all. That's why we got to go by the curses that the Lord put on the church. That's why I know, look, we are Hebrew Israelites, because you go look in that jail, them jailhouse, that prison institution, the numbers don't lie. I look at them slave chains, I'm like, I know my daddy come out of Alabama. And where his daddy come from? Probably sitting right there. His great-great-great-granddad might be your great-great-great-granddaddy. Sitting, got a picture of him right there. Or up on that wall right there. Look, he said, for you disassemble in your hearts when you send me into the Lord your God, saying, pray for us unto the Lord our God, and according to all that the Lord our God shall say, do declare unto us, and we will do it. But watch this. And now have I said this day, declare it to you, that you have not obeyed the voice of the Lord your God, nor anything for which he had sent me unto you. And that's why we got what we got, y'all. Because we deaf to this book, and we not hearing words of God. So now let's go back to Luke and see, therefore we wouldn't pay attention to what the Lord said. Look what he said. Look what he had done. Back to Luke 21 and 23. Because he said it's going to be the vengeance that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Back to that Luke 21. He said, but woe unto, said, for these be the, we are 21 and 23. Because this is the days of the vengeance, in 70 AD. The Lord dropped his vengeance. But woe to them that are with child, and to them that get sucked in those days. What days? The days of the vengeance. The day the Lord took us out of the land, because we would not hearken to his voice, nor do anything the Lord would say do. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. That's why we got wrath on us in this land. And we're going That's why we look at them poverty statements. I'm going to put that back up in a minute. It said, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captives into all nations. What do it mean to be led away captives? Look at them chains on them brothers. Okay, that means led away captives into all nations. Okay? And he said, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. They still in the land, y'all, so their time is still here. And we ain't back in the land. But we ain't going to go to that extent. I just want to drop a historical time figure, the curses that the Lord dropped on us, and why. We're going to further examine this. And let's go to Isaiah 1:7. Isaiah 1:7. Watch this, y'all. Because we the only one running around without no country, y'all. I'm black and on pride of what? From what nation? The Germans, they're proud of being Germans. Italians, from Italy. Japanese from Japan. Hindus, they know they come from India, Pakistan. Everybody got, you black and proud of what? Being deaf? Being blind? People call us all kinds of. Why? Because this is what the Lord said, verse 7. We're going right to the point. Isaiah 1:7. He said, your country is desolate. Your cities are burnt with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. That's why we the only people walking around, they get, we're going to get to that. That's why we the only people walking around with the name that don't belong to us. Because we don't know what country we come from because the strangers running it. And look what he says right here in verse 8. Hear this, Israel. Don't be deaf to this. Look what he said. And the daughters of Zion is left as a cottage in a vineyard. What is the cottage doing in the vineyard? You look in the vineyard, then you see a cottage. It sticks out. Like, man, who put a cottage in the vineyard? That's how we is amongst the people, y'all. We stick out. And as large in the garden of cucumbers as a besieged city. You think we're in a besieged city? Try tonight. Some of you some brothers and sisters died last night. Over what? Foolishness. Not walking in the ways of the Lord, knowing whether they're obedient to his laws. Some of us got locked up last night. Somebody finna get locked up tonight. Because they got something crazy on their mind they want to do. Why? Because we are, as a people, as a besieged city, y'all. So that's what the condition is on the people that the book called the children of the book, or the children of Israel. So now look, let's go to Joel, look at this a little further. Joel 3rd chapter. Joel 3rd chapter. And verse Joel 3. And we didn't even get to the ID card chapter yet, y'all. I'm just warming up. We touched one verse out of the black man's ID card, the lost sheep of the house Israel card, y'all. One verse. We got a whole lot of that Deuteronomy 28 chapter, y'all. But look, Joel 3rd chapter. Look at what it says. For behold, in those days and at that time will I bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Then we read that Jesus said that they're going to be in captivity, captives unto all nations, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Well, let's see who this is, y'all. Let's skip down. Oh, no, we'll keep going. Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. So that's who that is in the chains. And we the children of these people right here, y'all. That might be somebody's great-great-granddad. Listen right there. Or great-great-grandmama right there. Look, they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. What that mean by cast lots? $20. Sold, that nigga sold for a nickel. And they were selling us like that. Look at this. How I know that's so real? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It says right here, 10 likely valuable slaves at an auction. We read what we see and we see what we read, ain't we, y'all? That means we start being blind and we start being deaf, right? We no longer blind and we no longer deaf. Because they said they cast lots from our people and we just got to reading slaves at an auction. Talking about Israel, y'all. Look. Child, please. And it says, look. And it says, sold a girl, boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yeah, what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Now, why is the Lord involving a stranger in this? Hold this spot and let's go to Zechariah 1 and 15. Because the Lord was angry with us just a little bit, but the heathen got zealous.
Right.
And they took it too far. So that's why they got a part to play in this thing. But guess what? The Lord gonna meet out everybody. Justice is coming to everybody, y'all. Us for being deaf and blind and not doing what the Lord said, and to the heathen for this. Zechariah 1 and 15. Notice what he says. I'm sorry, 1 14. Then we're going to read to 15. So the angels that commune with me said unto me, cry thou, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy. So the Lord jealous for us, y'all. Believe you me. But we got to do what the Lord say.
Right.
Oh, you really don't represent Jerusalem. You represent the heathen that the Lord going to cut off. And he been cutting off our heathen his forefathers for a long time. He cutting off some heathen brothers right now, laying up in the hospital with some kind of strange illness or sickness. The Lord killing them. But look what he said about the heathen. I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
Wow.
So they helped forward the affliction. They got zealous, y'all. Went over the top. But that's why the Lord coming back with a vengeance. He don't execute his judgment on us. But there's a judgment yet to come, y'all. Yet to come. So now back to Joel. Back to Joel 3rd chapter. Look at verse 5. Joel 3 and 5. Because you have taken my silver and my gold and carried into your temples my goodly pleasant thing. Because the heathens took the Lord's stuff and put it in their thing. So that's nothing we are aware of. We see in many things, but I observe it's not this book. The heathen done took all that stuff, like running around with the little jewel in the forehead. They took that from us. You got the Muslims got their sisters covered, their women covered. They took that from us. Everybody took a piece of us and put it up in their temple, gonna call it theirs, and we were around talking about, oh, we're going to heaven. Anyway, but look what he said right here, verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians that you might remove them far from them. But we so far from our border, y'all. We're going to find out in this lesson that we got 181 names that they got for us, y'all. 181. I was floored when I saw that information. I figured, hey, you know, we about, I give it a good 90, 85 different names they want to call the so-called Negro. Porch monkey. Oh, I got the documentation on that. We're going to get there. We so far from our border, y'all. Child, please. Most of us think we started in Alabama, Mississippi. Really? Well, what? And they act like our black history only is on this side. We're so far from the border. We so far moved. Black history is all about what happened on this side. Really? That's how far we were removed from our border when you going to look at people putting on Black History program. Oh, you know, back in the days of slavery, Nat Turner. Okay. And what about before that?
Right.
What about before the ships of slavery? What about that Black history? But no, we're so far from our borders. The Lord had to say this, verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither you had sold them. How did our forefathers get here, y'all? to America. We were sold here. All the other ethnic groups migrated.
Right.
We the only people in this whole hemisphere that was sold here. The Indians was already here.
Right.
They weren't sold to nothing. That's why I got a problem with Brother Ron. Talking about, see, the Indians, they be Israelites. Really? Who sold them here?
Right.
Hello? They're off the top, Don Nats. You know the Greeks migrated here. Christopher Columbus migrated here. The Mexicans came up to the southern hemisphere. Migrated. They all migrated. And then we got sold here for their pleasure.
Right.
For their prosperity. To better further them. That's why on the 4th of July, I got a problem with our brothers and sisters popping off fireworks. Hey, dude, do you realize your forefathers was hanging off trees at that time?
Yeah.
And when they say we the people to form a more perfect union, that didn't apply to your forefathers, man. You was not included in that. When they said we the people to form a more perfect union. No, y'all people was out in that field picking my cotton. That's what they was thinking. Okay? So that's why he said, behold, I'm going to raise them out of the place whether you have sold them and we return your recompense upon your own head. So now, here's what I want to do. Let's go to Isaiah 9 and 13. Isaiah 9 and 13. Because we refuse to turn to the one that's put us in this condition. Watch this. Isaiah 9 and 13. But we trust in our ministers. Don't read no book, so they keep us deaf. No, they keep us blind. They don't preach the word, so they keep us deaf. So when somebody do bring the book, you deaf and blind to it. Man, I don't mean what it says. I do. So you want to stay deaf and blind? Huh? Okay. Deaf, dumb, and blind. Because the Lord said, my people are destroyed for the lack of what? Knowledge. So right here, Isaiah 9 and 13. For the people turneth not unto him that smiteth them. Neither do they seek the Lord of hosts. That's why all these little social programs we come up with, after a while, they falter to the ground.
Yeah.
They go south, or they get took over, or they get twisted, or they get perverted, and they become, instead of for our good, they become for our hurt. That's why the Lord said, therefore the Lord will cut off from Israel the head and the tail and the branch and rush in one day. Good thing you think that is. When he come back and slam all this foolishness. Look, the ancient and the honorable, he is the head. The ones we honor. These great black leaders, okay? But they represent that deaf, dumb, and blind, because they're not going in this book and show you. Look at Israel, you got to turn to the Lord your God. Because you don't turn to the word of the Lord, I say the word of the Lord your God. Look, he said, they call it ancient honorable and the prophet that teaches lies. He is the tail. So all them preachers sitting in there, they represent the prophet that teaches lies. The Lord will cut them off in that day. For the leader of this people caused them to err, and they that led of them are destroyed. Who's leading the people, y'all? Let's go and let the book tell you. I ain't got to say it. Don't pay attention to me, man. Be hearing this book and see what the word says. Let's go to Jeremiah 12 chapter. Jeremiah 12 and 10. This is what's going to wake us up, y'all. But we're going to go into Deuteronomy shortly. Deuteronomy. Because you got people around talking about, oh man, that ain't talking about us. I'm like, they're going them deaf. They're going them blinds. Hear many things, but he observed, seeing many things, but he observed it not. Hearing a lot, but he ain't heard nothing. He said, but they are destroyed of them. Look, Jeremiah 12 and 10, y'all. Look what it says. Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. What did they do? Many pastors show up, and he said, my vineyard. Who got more churches with pastors in them on Sunday than we do? In their neighborhood. I never forget in Chicago, man, wall-to-wall church. Man, I'd be like, really? Inside of 4 blocks, I got 16 churches. I was like, hold on, let me go back and count that again. That's why he said, many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. They have trodden my portion underfoot. They have made my pleasant portions a desolate wilderness. Why are the pastors destroying them? Look, y'all, let's go to Deuteronomy. I want to go to Deuteronomy 30th chapter. I'm sorry. Oh, I skipped the verses. I want to go to Matthew 15th chapter. Matthew 15th chapter. Because these pastors are not showing the people the word. They're keeping them deaf and blind and dumb. That's why some of my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. You reject this law, he going to reject you. What you think the pastors are telling the people all about the law tomorrow? What they telling them about the law? The devil wants you to keep the law. Really? That's that destroying pastor. And how many ministers of people you think believe what he says? How many ministers you think actually believe that, or people believe that? Oh, when you come with the law, you in a cult. Destroying the people. But look what Jesus said right here, Matthew 15 and I said 24, right? Matthew 15 chapter and verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Who more lost than us, y'all? People calling us all kind of names. Our name changes, every 3 years? We went from African American, Afro to Afro American to black folks to colored folks to, hey, we're going to get into that shortly, y'all. There's so many names. I'm like, man, that is amazing. Anyway, but he said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Now let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 50 and 6. That's when you start being deaf and blind to this book and read it, and you start being deaf to the words of the book. You start realizing, man, we're in trouble. That's why we ate up like we ate up. Jeremiah 50 and 6. Look what the Lord said. He said, Jeremiah 50 and 6. My people have been lost sheep. Wait a minute. Then the Lord said, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. So he said, my people have been lost sheep. The shepherds had caused them to go astray. Who's our shepherds, y'all? And people think, I ain't nothing. I'm just a brother with a shirt and tie preaching a book. I don't mean nothing to them. I'm irrelevant. But they go on the street, the great Dr. Creflo, the great bishop this and the bishop. Dude, the Lord just said that shepherds have caused them to go astray. Look, they have turned them away on mountains. They're gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. We don't know where we come from, do we? And if you don't know where you're coming from, how you know where you're going? Man. And that people lost, you don't know where you come from. So you don't know where. Well, we know we come from somewhere on one continent of Africa. Man, they would shoot you. You go over there. You go jump over there in Zimbabwe. Go over there and say, I belong here, man. Look, booyah. Next. Ethnic cleansing going on right now between people that look like me. Hebrews and black folks. It's still going on, y'all. But you think they're going to find that out and talk about that tomorrow? That's why the next verse says, all that found them have devoured them. When you found lost folks, that's what you do. And their adversary said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice. Oh, when we left the Lord, we lost justice? We always holler, give us justice. Wow. You want to know where the greatest injustice is being done in the black community every day? Pick a church tomorrow. Especially the big ones get throngs of crowd. That's a lot of people, y'all, that are being turned away and gone away from mountain to hill. That's why the Lord doing what he do, the way he do. He said, they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. So now I want to go to Revelations 2 and 9. Revelations 2 and 9. And Jesus, out of Jesus' own mouth, said this. Revelation 2 and 9, and we're going to read Revelation 3 and 9. Revelation 2 and 9 and 3 and 9. He said, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Now, why would the Lord say this people that's impoverished and in tribulation, they rich? Because they've forgotten their resting place. Our resting place is our land. Jerusalem is our capital, y'all. The capital of what nation? The nation of Israel. Notice, that's why he said, your country lies desolate. And we are people that robbed and spoiled. And notice, he said, and I also know, he said, I know the blasphemers then would say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. What religion running around talking about our place of worship is a synagogue? And what color are they? Okay? It sure don't claim to be this color. Especially in America. Down in the land of hell, I give you that. But in America, and in the land running the land, it's not white folks, black folks that's running the land of Jerusalem, y'all. They call themselves in the houses of synagogue, places of worship. But look, let's go to Revelation 3 and 9. Because we came over here in the hall of slave ships. And over here, when you see a synagogue, you ain't thinking black folks. You straight thinking the Jewish people. And I do mean Jewish. They wish they were the Jew. It's a Jewish, because they ain't the Jew. Why? Again, Jesus reiterates in Revelation 3 and 9. Because they have a Jewish. Watch this. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not. Those are the ones that have that Jewish, okay? Because they want to be a Jew, but they're not. Jesus just said that. And if you know Jesus, for real, you would know this is how he feel about his people. He said, but do lie. So all that little Judaic stuff. Anyway, we're going to get to that how they came about assuming that stuff. Oh, we're going to follow the details, y'all. He said, behold, I will make them to come and wish them before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So now, let's keep it pushing. I want to go and nail why the Lord said they call themselves Jews, but they not. Okay, let's nail this in their head. Let's go to Deuteronomy 30th chapter. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 15. Deuteronomy 30 and 15. I'm sorry, before I go there, Psalms 83. Then we're going to go to. Because these people that call themselves Jews and are not, why can they take an identity of a whole people, y'all? How is that possible? Let's look at this. And the Lord called them in the synagogue of Satan. And in the synagogues, what they call the Jewish synagogues, they have this star that they want to call the Star of David. No, that's the star of the synagogue of Satan, y'all. But right here in Psalms 83 and verse 1. Notice what it says. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Because you got people that calling themselves Jewish that hate Jesus. Yep. Really? Oh, he ain't came yet. Oh, he was just a prophet. But they said, the Messiah hasn't come yet. Or they hate his name. One way or the other, they infect you with this hatred of God, which is Jesus. But that's a whole nother lesson. Notice, they lifted up their head. Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Who was his hidden ones, y'all? The so-called Negro, color man. How many different names they call us? We're going to get to that. I'm going to get to that as we go into these curses, y'all. Notice, they had said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Now look at it. When you go to an application, or when people start naming ethnic groups, they look at the Chinaman, they say, hey, they're going to China. They're going to Chinaman from Chinese. They're going to Irishman from Irish. The guy say Sweden from Sweden, Frenchman from France, and an Italian from Italy. Okay? Then they look at you and they be like, he's a continent. He's from Africa. And you stand there. Okay. Dude, you hid from yourself. Israel is a nation. That's why he said that they are consulted against thy hidden ones. Watch what he said, verse 4. They said, come, and let's cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. That's why they look at you, they be like, and you look at yourself, you like, okay, they want to call me Afro-American this year? Okay. I'll be black man for this year. Okay. They call us the African Americans. Okay. You just floating around, all these names just floating around you in nation and continents, but everybody else got a nation. So they did a pretty good job on us, y'all. Okay? And notice, I'm going to read this at the top of this list. Verse 5. For they had consulted together with one consent. I never forget an Arab told me, he said, I know you Israel, but you so busy following the white man and you want to get on his money and you want to follow his religion and go to heaven. Guess what? We going to take the land. I'm like, really? And if you look at our people, like they said at the top of Romans 10th chapter, my God, my desire for Israel, my prayer for Israel is that they might be saved. Because we are definitely have a zeal of God for God, but not according to knowledge. Now, who is this that's taking confederacy against us? Kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself, but we're going to come back to this character. Look at the top of the list, y'all. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and Hagarim. These are the people fighting over our land right now, y'all. Right now, today. So let's go and look at why these curses came down. Why we had to think about this now. Let's go to Deuteronomy 30th chapter. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 15. Now, remember the color of people that, look at that, up on the wall right there? Those are black folks. This is what the Lord said to our forefathers, way in the wilderness, via Moses. He said, Deuteronomy 30 and 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, death and evil. Okay, that's how this word is. You take hold of it, it's your life. And it's good. But if you reject it, it's going to bring you death and it's going to be the cause of our evil. Okay? In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statutes, and his judgments, that you might live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. But remember what Prophet Jeremiah said all the way up in the timeline? We didn't want to walk in the Lord's ways. We didn't want to be obedient to his voice. So, watch what verse 17 said. But if thy heart turn away so that thou would not hear, but withdraw away and worship other gods, like Christmas and Easter, talking about going to heaven, eat anything we want. That's what the other gods give you. And serve them. No, he said, I will denounce you this day, that you shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land whither thou goest over Jordan to possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and cursing. Notice he said, therefore choose life. See, we have an option, y'all. We really do. You can choose life. Notice he said, choose life, that thou and thy seed may live. But what if you didn't choose life? What if our forefathers didn't choose life? Let's look at the result of that. We're going to see that. We're going to see that after I finish this. That thou mayest love the Lord thy God, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life. That's why we don't turn to the Jesus of this Bible. We turn to this other Jesus, and we got what we get all day tomorrow. Ministers talking about the devil trying to get you to keep the law. And it's death all day and then tomorrow. That's why it's called the congregation of the dead. We can read that. Notice, and the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. He promised he's going to give our forefathers and us land. But did we hearken? Let's go to Daniel's 9th chapter. The prophet Daniel saw this in his day, and he realized something about us, and this is what we're going to get into. Daniel's 9 and verse 3. Here's the result. Because we some praying folks, y'all. But knowledge, we destroy for the lack of it. Amen. Go look at them HIV cases, y'all. Look at them slave ships. Go look at some of the movies I named about. You be like, woo. I remember there's one movie we saw, what was that, Goodbye Uncle Tom or Uncle Tom? Mm-hmm. I'm telling y'all, that movie about slavery, I mean, it was literally talking about what they did to us. I was like, if Jesus wasn't on my mind.
Amen. Amen.
For real. If Jesus was not on my mind, the next time I saw a white person. For real. That's how bad. You can't even watch it with your children. No, you can't even look at it with your kids because it's X-rated. They show you what they did to our women, how they raped them, how they maimed them. I was like, I'm so glad I got Jesus on my mind. Cause boy, that's, and I understand why our Hebrew brother let that hatred rise up. Because they ain't got Jesus on their mind.
Right.
They denounce Jesus. Henceforth, they had that hatred on their mind toward the Gentile. But the Lord said, look, we're going to read why he gave us the option to choose life or death. But right here, Daniel's 9 and 3, we're going to read what the prophet said. He was looking like, man. Daniel's 9 and 3. I set my face unto the Lord God to seek by prayer and supplication with fasting and sackcloth and ashes. And I prayed unto the Lord my God and made my confession and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him. Let's highlight that, underline that, love, mercy to them that obey, kind of like, make sure you get that. Notice, and to them that keep his commandments. Notice, we have sinned and have committed iniquity and have done wickedly and have rebelled even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgment. See, there's judgments written in this book, y'all. That the ministers all day tomorrow refuse to give the people. That's why they're destroying the people. That's why I said many pastors have destroyed my vineyard because we have refused and we departed from his judgments. No, neither have they hearkened unto thy servants, the prophets. That's why we hate going to the Old Testament. We go in this Old Testament and start reading, you be like,
right.
Uh-oh, that look like us. After a while, you like, hey, that look like us. After a while, that look like us. But the minister ain't going to stand there and tell you, no, that is you.
Right.
He's not going to do that. Because he's trying to get this on. Trying to keep you hollering and screaming, deaf, dumb, and blind, and singing all those long songs, and he's still getting paid. So, look, you try that going up in the grocery store, putting your money in there and just walk out with nothing. And your wife or your husband will slap you. You know, without you, how you going to put money up in that store and come out with nothing? Okay? Anyway, that's what they're doing all day tomorrow. Because he said, look, neither have we hearkened to the service, thy servants, the prophets, who spake in thy name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, to all the people of the land. Notice, oh Lord, righteousness belongs to thee. See, righteousness belongs to God, y'all. We got to get it from him. Because our own righteousness, child, he said, it's filthy rags. That's why we got to take on what the word says. Stop being deaf, dumb, and blind. Hear what the word says, speak what the word says, and do what the word says, so we can wear his righteousness. That's the only reason why we here on the Sabbath, because it's the righteousness of the Lord. That's why we keep his feast days. That's the righteousness of the Lord. Okay? His commandments. That's his righteousness. Notice. It said, but unto us confusion of faces as at this day. Come on, y'all. Do I need to elaborate on that? Not really. Because you look at our faces, look at our people, look at everybody sitting there laughing at us. Man, y'all so confused. Which way y'all going? Y'all don't know which end is up and which end of the candlestick is burning. That's why he said, confusion of faces as at this day. To the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all thy countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they had trespassed against thee. Notice, O Lord, to us belongs the confusion of face. To our kings, to our princes, to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. Ain't that what we read out of Isaiah 42nd chapter? Because we sinned against the Lord, because we not be obedient to his ways, nor walk in his laws. So we got away from that, and we still get away from that. And you got ministers out there to make sure you don't even get back to that, which is perpetuating the bad conditions that's prevalent in our community. That's really the source of why we suffer the way we suffer. But the Lord raised up an army. But we're going to get to that in this whole thing, y'all. We're going to get there. Like I said, this series got a minute to go. It said, to the Lord our God belonging mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. So you can turn back to the Lord, y'all. So that's the hope in this thing. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets. No, he said, yeah, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore, the curse is poured upon us. That's what it's all about. All these curses have been poured on us. Look, in the oath that's written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. And watch this. He had confirmed his words. Excuse me, y'all. That's a lot of confirmation, ain't it? That's a lot of confirmation. Okay? HIV diagnosis. We talking 2016. We are 44% of the new cases. That's a lot of confirmation, y'all. Infant mortality rate, ridiculous. Death by guns. We way up there, y'all. We way up there. Black men in prison. Black women in prison, okay? Ethnic wealth gaps growing. That's a lot of confirmation, y'all. That's why the Lord said, I know your poverty and your tribulation. Notice, he says, he had confirmed his words which he had spake against us and against our judges that judged us by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as have been done upon Jerusalem. That's why we ain't like nobody else, y'all. Sure, we had other people that went in captivity. Other people got AIDS. Other people, ethnic groups, unemployed. Other people, children died. Not a problem. But we got everything that everybody else got plus.
Right.
See, that's what makes us unique. Everybody got this problem, but why we spiked?
Right.
We just read why. But you think the ones that deaf gonna let you hear this? Or the one that's blind gonna let you see this? Therefore, they're gonna keep you what? My people are destroyed for the lack of what? Knowledge. That's how we know we are children of Israel. Because it ain't just by color, but it's also by condition. And watch this. Verse 13. As it's written in the law of Moses, all this evil has come upon us, yet may we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth. How is it that we haven't turned to the Lord? You want to know why he said you haven't turned to him? Hold this spot and let's go to St. John 5 and 47. Let's see why he said, yet we have not made our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth. Look what Jesus said. Because our folks hate Always talking about the law of Moses done away with. We ain't got to pay attention to that, man. We under the new covenant. All we want is half the Bible. That's really what they're saying. No, all they really want is Paul's right. But that's probably ain't that nowadays. It's half a script. They done went to pamphlets, y'all. You really don't get nobody. Matter of fact, they want a whole new Bible. We can understand those words in the KJV. Look what Jesus said. St. John, we're going to hold that Daniel. We're going to go back there. Daniel's, but we're going to John 5:46. For had ye believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? So if you're not hearing the law of Moses, you're not conscious of that, you just threw Jesus in the garbage can. And if you ain't got Jesus in your life, what did we just have to read? He said, back to Daniel's 9:13. So when we read that, yet may we not our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth. Because then Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the what? Life. That's why we ate up like we is, y'all. We're going to keep going. Therefore, the Lord had watched the evil. Oh, that's why we here in prison houses. That's why we get that criminal justice system problem, y'all. Is that why that's so? Let me flip this down here right quick. Bring this back up. The Lord watched the evil, y'all, and brought it upon us. The Lord, it said the Lord. It said the Lord watched the evil. He said, therefore the Lord watched upon the evil and brought it upon us. All of that stuff. Jeremiah 9:11-22. Isaiah 42:22 through 24. Jeremiah 9:9-21. And we're going to go look. We're going to go into that, Deuteronomy and read. The Lord said he's going to bring plagues that are not even written in this book on us. So he said, look, the Lord had watched the evil and brought it upon us, for the Lord our God is righteous in all his works which he doeth, for we obey not his voice. Whose voice are we listening to all day tomorrow then, y'all? Whose voice? Oh, we hear that voice all day tomorrow. If I was preaching Christmas and Easter and Sunday, we'd be packed in here. We wouldn't even be enough room, y'all. We'd be like, hey, you know what? We really y'all gotta just, kind of get a grip on here, y'all. Just, because I'm preaching stuff that didn't come from the Lord. It's another voice. It's a voice of disobedience, which perpetuates the condition that we in. Now notice, verse 15. And now, O Lord, our God, that hath brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt. Look at the color of the people he brought out of Egypt, y'all. He brought black folks out of Egypt. And we right back in Egypt. Right now, this day. He said, with a mighty hand has gotten thee renowned, as at this day we have sinned, we have done wickedly. So now let's go look at these curses in depth right quick, y'all. I said I'm going to split this into two parts. So we're going to go to Daniel's 28th chapter. Deuteronomy 28th chapter. And look at what the Lord laid before us. Deuteronomy 28th chapter. And this is what we're going to pick. And I'm going to hang out in this, y'all. Deuteronomy 28. And we're going to start at verse 1. Because the Lord laid this out in front of our forefathers in the wilderness. He laid it in front of black folks, y'all. That might be a picture of your great 100 times great granddaddy right there with the fro right there. Right there on that picture. And this is what he told them. Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, that thy God to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. That's what the Lord put first. He put positivity there.
Amen.
He put love there. He put the good stuff there. That's what we got to do, y'all. That's how the Lord did. He put the good stuff there. But did our forefathers take that? Or are the preachers showing us his commandments and his law? That's the good stuff. So he said, if we hearken to him, he said, all these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee if that shall hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. That means we're not deaf to this book. And we seeing what the Lord said. We're not going by what Brother Jacob think and how he feel. Because you can't see what I feel and how I feel. You can't see that. But we can sure see what the Lord said, can't we? So that's why he said, look at this. Verse 3. Blessed shalt thou be in the city. So when we're in the city, we shall be blessed. Notice. And blessed shalt thou be in the field. Okay, I'm in the country, y'all. Not out there picking cotton. Oh. Anyway, notice 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body. The children rate from among us and the infant mortality rate among us. So obviously, as we go through this, we didn't pay attention to that. Our forefathers didn't esteem that as being valuable enough to adhere to and pass it down through the generations.
Amen.
That's the problem. We're not passing that. So they forgot. So now we run around our country destitute. I'm just a black man with a shirt down as far as, the religious order of the day is concerned. But look, let's get down. Let's go into, skip down to verse 15 and look at what happened, y'all. This is what happened. You saw the good part. You can go read the good parts. But this is what happened. Because remember, Daniel said the Lord had poured out the curse that is written in the oath of Moses, the law of Moses. He poured that out. So let's look at what it says here. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Again, this is the black man's ID card. And I'll never forget, when I first came into this word, way back in 91, I came in Black History Month. This is the month I came in the word, back in 1991. Actually, a little bit before, but it was like last Sabbath, last Sabbath of January, and then Black History Month came up. And when I saw this, I was in the coma for the rest of the month. You couldn't keep me out this book. That's all I did. As soon as I came in, I was in my book. Every day, all of Black History Month, I came to question and answer. This is a month that you can say Brother Jacob came into the word, and I was in a spiritual coma for the duration. Because I looked, and I saw, and I stopped being deaf. I stopped being blind. And I came out of that, what they want to call Christianity. And the Lord showed me, man, you become a Bible Christian. You was born in Israel. That's irrelevant. Israel is not a religion. It's a nation. We read that. Because our nation didn't pay attention. Here's what happened, y'all. Because he said, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now, we're not going to go through all of it, because I said I'm going to have to break this off into 2 parts, y'all, because we're going to examine this stuff. So let's start getting to some of the most obvious things here. Because all this came to pass down through the generation. That's why we're going to get into some chronological stuff as we deal with Israel, the Black History series. Oh, we got some chronological stuff we're going to get into, y'all. As we go down, we're going to deal with some real history and we're talking real Black history. So notice, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. I'll never forget, I couldn't get $20 change. Look, had a brother, black entrepreneur brother, owning a candy shop, store. Okay? I'm trying to get change for a 20 off this brother. He can't even do that. I'm like, boy, but I can run down to that Arab store. And man, they flourishing. We supporting them, but we look at our store. That's why we had in our neighborhood, we had to put on support black-owned businesses. We had to tell our people to do that. But then when you go in there to get the services, the curses are sitting there. I mean, we just chewed up from the floor up, y'all. But it's a good thing, y'all, because we're going to get into how we know that we are the priests of God by virtue of these curses who the Lord put on the people. That's supposed to be carriers of the word. and teach this book. But look, let's keep going. He said, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Oh, no wonder that's why the death rate for immortality rates among blacks compared to everybody is what? More than twice the death rate. And there's one, we had, 1,052 per 100,000? The closest one is the Gentile, the European, he had 512. Okay? Now look, I want to go and skip down a couple of these, because we're going to come back to, I'm going to get to the one where he talks about the name. Because there's a lot in here, y'all. We're going to go to, let me look at this. We're going to go down to 15, during 15 and 30, then we go to 37. Let me keep reading. It said, and we stopped at verse 19, right? Oh, no, yeah, we got to read verse 19. This is where we at. He said, cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in. That's why when you show up at a job, okay? He said, cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. Oh, man, okay? And when we come into a neighborhood, I never forget, we were the first blacks on this block. That was all Gentiles, okay? They threw a rock at our window. I'm like, Mama, why you let them make us move to this neighborhood? It's full of Gentiles, okay? They can't stand us. And boy, as more of us start coming, it was white flight. It was out, okay? So anyway, verse 20, it said, the Lord shall send the curse, shall send upon thee cursings and vexations and rebuke in all that thou sendest thy hand for to do. That's why we get so mad. That's why we got major anger issues, problems. The sister said straight snapped off about a pork chop. She went off about her chicken. That brother had a problem because that Jake had on better shoes than he did.
Right.
Vexation gets to us real quick. That's why when the police pull us over, we say something, man, they're afraid of that vexation that's on us. Because they know we straight go off on you. Flat out. Because of this curse. He said, until thou beest perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doing, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Make sure. The Lord shall make this a pestilence to cleave unto thee. Okay, y'all, we know about roaches and mice, all of that. Woo. He says, until he had consumed thee from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. The Lord shall smite thee with consumption, and with fever, and with inflammation, and with extreme burnings, and with the sword. What you think sword is nowadays, y'all? Or read Jeremiah 11 and 22. That's that pistol. We don't even make the guns, y'all. But more of us die by the gun.
Right.
Who you think doing that? The Lord said, I'm going to bring that sword. Sword nowadays is a pistol, y'all. With blasts and with mildew, and it shall pursue thee until thou perish. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be as brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be as iron. What you think that is? Extremely long prison sentences over foolishness. There's an article I started to pull up where this Gentile, he got like 3 months, but this brother, he got like 15 years over something ridiculous. I was like, okay, I get it, Lord. Stay tight on this book. Look, he said, because you be in jail for so long, you got brothers come out want to go back in jail. Because they want that to be their heaven. And that ground, they're so used to the prison floor, is they used to that being their ground, and the cells and their walls being their, and their ceilings being their heavens, y'all. Look. And the Lord shall make the rain of thy land powder and dust from heaven shall it come down upon thee until thou be destroyed. That's why, man, on the west side of Chicago back in the day, I was like, man, I thought we was bad on the south side. And we was. It might still be. But I know the west side was like, filthy. Like, ugh. Even the cats and the dogs was grungy, looking like, ugh. Who would take a stray dog? You take them strays in, you bringing in all manner of disease. So you're like, man, I ain't bringing that cat in. I ain't even give him a cup of milk. I might catch something doing that. Anyway, but that's, oof. But I want to skip down though. Let's go to this name thing, because I want to bring this up. The names. Watch this. Verse 37. Man, there's so many stuff in here, man. Just put you in a coma. Just meditate on, and you start seeing it come over your life. But right here, we're going to skip down to verse 37. Man, look, there's so much in here. We'll come back to it. But I want to point this out. The Lord said, this is one of the curses. And that shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. Now, I wouldn't pull this out of ACLU for slander and languages and name calling and all of that. Anyway, okay. Make a long story short, let me do this, y'all. For the Jews, that this represents what they call the Jews, what the world calls a Jew. The Jewish people that wish they was Jew. Look at the names they call them. They have 43 different names that they like to call the so-called Jew. Like bagel dog, beanie, big nose, cashews, Christ killers, Dead Sea pedestrians. Some of the popular ones, let me get to the popular ones. Firewood, which comes from World War II Holocaust reference. German oven myths, that's also from World War II. Goo, as a German Jew pronounced goo. Heidi, hickory smoke, hook nose, in recognition of the common facial characteristics. Jesus killers, Khazars, kike, maki, nickel nose, oven baked, oven dwellers, all come from, because they was throwing the so-called Jew into ovens, okay, y'all, in the World War II Holocaust, because they love to throw the Holocaust up at you. Oh, boy, you'll hear that right quick. But compared to that Holocaust of slavery, you have any idea how many slaves died just crossing from the continent of Ham, what they call Africa now, to get across the Atlantic to the continent of the Americas? How many of us died in those slave ships? It got so bad that the sharks was out there, they automatically, that was like their feeding grounds, y'all. You knew sharks, they were just waiting. We were just fish bait. Okay? We seriously fish. That's how many of us was dying. Just crossing over. So for those of us that are over here in America, we were the lucky ones, y'all. Our folk followed, he came from over there to over here. He was one of the ones that made it. However bad the condition was. Woo. But back to this. Some of the other names that they called so-called Jew, Shiny, Shylock, Snowflake, okay, Yenta. Okay, so that's 43 names that they had for the people they called Jews. Okay, y'all. Here's all the papers that I have for the names they call us, y'all. That was two for the Jewish. Now here go the bywords that the Lord got for us. 181 names, y'all. Now if I stay here and read all this, we're gonna be for another hour? So let me get to some of the famous ones. We got a lot of them, y'all. So bear with me, okay? Aunt Your Mama, okay? Bambooba, Black Barbie, Blackie, Blow. It said originated from blacks originally living in Africa using blowguns. Boogeyman. That's what they talked the boogeyman. They was talking about us. Okay. Boy, Brillo pads, bro, buckwheat. Y'all know about that. Okay. Bumper lips, buns, buppies, burnt crackers, burnt match, burnt toast, bird heads, bush boogies, butter. And I just seen the bees, y'all. Hold on, we got a whole alphabet, y'all. I mean, literally, man, I was staggered. I was like on the floor for, man, it took me a while to get off the floor, y'all. So let me go to some of the D's, because there's a lot. Cornbread, that's another, they call us cornbread. Coons, crickets, cubs, okay, y'all. Colored, oh, okay. Now, that's one. So they still hang that out there for us, y'all. Darkies. I'm in the D's, y'all. Egglets. Eggplants. Eraser heads. Because of the afros looking like a school chalkboard eraser. Oh, my God. These are funny backwards, man. Look. Fog niggers. Okay, I'm like, what? What's this other one? They had Urkel. Nerdy blacks. Yep. Feb, for February because it's Black History Month. So hey Febs, okay, because it's Black History Month. All right, moving to the G's. Guards, G-cheese, ghetto. That means black, y'all. Okay? Ghetto hamsters, gimpies, groits. GG, that's another byword. Shortened from gangster or original gangster, used as a greeting between gang members. Used in a derogatory fashion by members of other races or non-gang members. Homie, I'm going to the H's, y'all. Horse guns, hotels, hot notch, house niggers. Look, y'all, this is ridiculous. JJ, Jar Jar, Jigaboo, Jim. Let me go to some of the ones that's more, we can, won't have to be censored, because we may have children listening. Jungle Bunny. Y'all know what that means, right? Need I elaborate on that? Look. Actually, I do. It said jungle is referred to their jungle origins, and bunny is referred to some people saying that jackrabbits look like lynched black people. Ooh. KFC, black people that like fried chicken. Kingfish, knees grow, knuckle draggers. Koku Jins, Japanese term for blacks or anyone of African descent. Kunta Kinte. Oh, y'all know where that comes from, the movie Roots. Karambo, used in Japan. Lawn jockeys. Most all lawn jockeys are black, sometimes also known as porch monkeys. Lincoln's Mistake. Lucius, going to the M's. Mandingos, Medinka, mangrove monkeys. Mayita, Melisana, Midnights, self-explanatory. Monkeys, monkey boys, moolies, moon crickets, Moors, for the black Muslims that invaded Europe, mud ducks, mud people, dang, Negroes, nigger, most likely originated the Latin word Niger, which translates to black. Similar words for black exist in other languages. Spanish, for example, is Negro, also somewhat related to African country Nigeria, which is primarily black. Many variations exist, include nig, niggle, niggy, niggly, etc. Niggerette, that's the woman. Negroids, nignogs, knick-knock, nini, ninja, nogs, Nubian princess. Going to the O's, orb, Oreo. Believe y'all mean. Yeah, they call us Oreos, y'all. Yep. Orlando, used by other black people to refer to the old school blacks who do not keep current with the gangster style of music or clothing. Pick nannies, point six, poos, poopalos, porch monkeys, presumably referring to when blacks would sit on their porch to cool themselves off, not being as fortunate as whites who had fans. Puby, Schwartzies, that's German for black. Shrugel, semi-simian, shadow smurfs, shiners, charvets, silverbacks, that means old black folks, silvery, skillets, refer to the color of the iron skillet, skinflits, slave, self-explanatory, sniggers, snow niggers, that's when people who've seen on ski slopes or stereotypes that generally don't go skiing because they dislike the cold. Spades. The spade is a deck of cards. The spade and decks of cards are, what color, y'all? Black. Spoodas. Spooks, because of their dark skin, which can blend into the night, making themselves ghost-like. Spoons. Stovepipes. Strange fruits. Get you some Toby, reference to the character in Roots. Tree swingers. You know, I always say, man, why did y'all call us monkeys? But y'all got I remember they had this a TV show called Hey, we the Monkeys. I'm like, dude, you know what? Why y'all call us monkeys? But y'all got a music group called Monkeys, and y'all promoting them like this. You know, it's just fascinating when I was younger in those days. Velcro heads, Webby, welfare monkeys, well turds, dang, wikis, wind chimes. A common practice of Southerners was to hang blacks when the wind blew and swung them back and forth against each other. Southerners will refer to them as wind chimes, yard apes, yo-yos. You know what that means? They wasn't hanging them from a you-know-what. They was hanging them from a you-know-what. And young, that's the last word. So I skipped over because I didn't want to keep y'all here for an additional 20 minutes. But that's 181 words. So when the Lord said they should call you bywords and proverbs, I was like, wow, that's a lot. Anyway, so now let's get down to verse 45, y'all. Let's get down to verse 45. He said, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and statutes which he commanded. And notice, and they shall be upon thee for a sign. What do a sign do? There he is. And for a wonder, people looking like, oh, I wonder why don't folks act like that? Why can't they get employed? Why can't they take care of their children? Why can't they stay out there? I wonder why. Who you think they're talking about? What they thinking about? Us. That's why he said this should be for a sign and for a wonder and upon thy seed forever. So it follows Israel. So all down through the generations, y'all. That's why, and look at the reason why this happened. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness. We're supposed to do this thing with joy, y'all, not like it's some kind of, strudgery. Be joyful in serving the Lord. Because if you're not, you are inviting the curse. You are perpetuating the curses in your life. Amen. That's why we had gospel music. Hey, let's make this thing joyful. I wake up, I want to do gospel when I get up. I want to hear gospel music all Saturday long. When I come in on the Sabbath, I want to enjoy it. Amen. It's not drudgery, y'all. That's why he said, because we would not serve the Lord our God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Notice what he said. Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies with which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he had destroyed thee. Hold 1 minute. Did I put it right here? Watch this, y'all. I'm like, are you serious? Lord our God. Whoop, there it is. That's a yoke of iron upon our forefathers' necks. God ain't playing. There it is. In the flesh. Deuteronomy what? 28:48. The yoke of iron on our necks. There it is. Any questions about us being the children of Israel, y'all? Should have been dismissed right there. Okay? Therefore, notice what he says. And the Lord shall bring a nation from against thee from far from the ends of the earth as swift as the eagle flying. What is the symbol of America, y'all? Do I need to interpret that as an eagle? Everybody knows this nation's symbol is the what? Eagle. And that comes from a 7-year-old. So I know everybody else knows. So notice he said, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Notice he said thou shalt not understand. He didn't say you didn't know it. That's why it's good to have a dictionary to look up the words, y'all. So we can understand the language that we speak. Okay? A nation of fierce conscience which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. Oh, no wonder our youth is killed. Youth. Ugh. It's horrible, y'all. Notice. So now I'm going to skip down to all the way down from verse skip all the way down to verse 58. All the way down to verse 58. He said, if thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name of the Lord thy God, then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plague will not see even great plagues of long continuance and sore sickness and of long continuance. Notice verse 60. Moreover, he shall bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of. They shall cleave unto thee also every sickness and every plague, which is not written in the book of this law. Then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. Wait a minute. We're not in the land of Egypt right physically, are we, y'all? I sure can't tell. Look at all of the AIDS. Man, that's we 44% of the new cases. Whew. And that ain't written in this book, y'all. That's one that started out as a homosexual disease. Now it's proliferating among us. But we're not in physical Egypt, so that means we in what kind of Egypt, y'all? Spiritual Egypt. Wait for that deliverance to come again. Look at verse 62. And you shall be left few in numbers, whereas you were as the stars of heaven for a multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good, that's what the Lord put that. He rejoiced over us to do us good, y'all. But now our forefathers done turned it from him, and look, and said to destroy you and to bring you. Verse 63 again. And it shall come to pass, as the Lord rejoiced over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord will rejoice over you to destroy you. You mean the Lord rejoicing over you? Yes, sir. Because he laid it out there. And if we ignore it, the Lord rejoicing to do what? To destroy you and to bring you to naught, which means nothing. And ye shall be plucked off from the land whither thou goest to possess it. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood, that's the crosses, and stone, that's Islam. Okay? So, and among, verse 65, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and a failing of eyes, and a sorrow of mind. That's how we so scared of the police. So, with that being said, I want to end it. One more verse. And thou light shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have none assurance of thy life. And in morning thou shalt say, would God it were even? And at even thou wilt say, would God it were morning? For the fear of thy heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thy eyes which thou shalt see. So I want to end it right there, and we're going to pick it up part 2 of this conditions next week. Hope you got some understanding concerning the conditions that are on the children of Israel. Them folks that the Lord told, right, the color of them folks he told when they was coming out of Egypt. Okay? That concludes this part of our Israel, the Black History series.